your music sucks without purpose. It can be painful to create, share, and then receive absolutely zero response. That sucks, because you're probably someone who makes music and you know all too well of how large the pool of creativity is, and especially when you're first making music. There's a lot of options, a lot of choices to do whatever you want. I think I know why this conundrum exists, and it exists for a reason. So far, we are the only species that creates and consumes wildly complex music on a massive scale. At least that's what we think. But when you look at the humongous amount of music that is released and distributed, and then the relatively tiny portion of songs that gather 80% of the listens, you can start to see a trend of behind why that is. There's clearly a common denominator of songs that enter this next level status, and it's the purpose of the storytelling. So here's what I mean. In your favorite music, despite the genre, it can feel like you have this innate curiosity when you're starting to hear a song that's built with purpose. And that can be a melody, a riff, lyrics, drum beat. Purpose in songwriting and music production can be super subjective, but in almost every case, there's this mix of pursuit and passion. There's one side of the artist that is chasing this fundamental idea of who they want to be or what they want their music to be. And then there's this other side that is this passion for artistry and expression. It almost becomes bigger than the artists themselves, this ideal of what they want their expression to be. And it takes those two items to give you purpose. Building purpose in your music is following like the rules, right? Music theory, audio engineering, marketing, whatever, until you don't. And then leaning into that rebellion so that your expression blooms into something bigger than yourself. And that can be in the form of melodies, lyrics, production, but probably a combination of all three. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't make music if you feel like you're a fundamentalist in this and that you're just following the rules. In fact, I think that's when you should do nothing but create. First of all, it's easier to create when you start limiting your ideas. When you start taking away avenues out, you end up getting more creative in figuring out how to make it work with less. The finiteness of options makes you breed this creativity that give you room to have all of these different versions of your song in the world. And because you only had so many options, you end up taking it way further, because creating music between your pursuit and your passion ends up instilling purpose in your music and who you are. That's where you're going to find artistry and a flow state of clear vision and expression. But it's going to be filled with chaos too. Ideas evolve from these tiny little droplets into their own entities. It's all kind of beautiful in a really fucked up way when you frame your creativity between pursuit and passion. It gives you a goal and it gives you an aim so that you're not just taking a shot in the dark and maybe hoping that you'll get streams or whatever you want. And all of the benefits that come from that here are just ancillary because you already found your purpose and what's valuable to you. Speaking from my own experience, without this perspective of creating, then you might just end up stuck in this really negative feedback loop. Not to mention, you will probably also make yourself feel like ass for chasing these fake ideals instead of really coming through with what's genuine and natural for you. And then you start ripping off a bunch of indie shit and it's like a really cheap version of Tame Impala or something.